So today's practice we're going to be embracing the goddess, and yeah, we're going to get straight into it. So we're actually going to start on our knees and hands and just work with a few wrist circles just to wake up our wrists. I don't know what time it is for you there, but here it is around about 8 a.m. It's Monday morning, lovely sunny day. And yeah, I hope you had a nice weekend if you were joining me similar sort of time. And so Mondays sometimes can be a little bit funny. Let's go the other way with our circles. You know, we can have a little bit of sort of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of, oh, we've got the week ahead, especially if we're still in this situation, in this lockdown situation. So we can either sort of take a lazy approach. Let's go side to side with our wrists as well. And just be comfortable with it, and you know, just to sort of go through the sequences in that comfortable, I know this sequence type of way. Or we can just spice it up with a little energy, a little bit of fizz. So we're going to try and do that. So it's going to keep a little bit of energy in our practice. So rounding into your cat spine, and just exploring your first cat pose. Noticing how the back feels, the shoulders, hips in maybe, and just bowing the head, so perhaps your gaze is just back at your thighs. Into your cow pose, just noticing the back bends for the first time, and then just moving through your cat cow. So just to awaken up our core and to spice up our practice, we're going to take a little pause and just hover our knees, just 1 inch off the mat. If you're feeling strong, you're going to take your right leg, you're just going to stretch it out behind you, hold it there for 3, 2, bring it back in on 1, lower the knees, and just find cow pose. Inhale, just go back into that cat, hold. That felt okay for you, hover the knees. Left leg, we're just going to try and take it back, hold it there. Not tensing, still breathing, still lifting, still feeling we've got control of this move. Bringing the knee back in, lower the knees down, come into your cow pose. As we come into our cat, just move the hands a little bit further forward, and let's find our down facing dog. We're just going to get as much movement into your down dog as you wish, whatever feels good. We'll sway into the hips, we'll march out through the legs. If your hamstrings are telling you there it's Monday morning for you, and they're saying to you, oh my goodness, let's wake up a little bit with these hamstrings. Or maybe we just feel like we need a little bit of sway and a little bit of dancing around in down dog. It doesn't matter, whatever warms you up and loosens you up. Let's come into our first plank. High plank. If you're needing to modify, just put your knees down. If you're feeling strong, we're lifting through the weight on the hands, pushing away from the mat. And then what we feel in our shoulders, I always feel like what I lift to my shoulders, I'm going to send back to my legs. Belly in, lower your knees, and let's sit back to child's pose. And whilst we're in child's pose, let's just have a little circle around through these wrists, because they've done a lot for us already. Maybe a little wiggle out the fingers, and just get some movement into these wrists, wherever that feels good for you as well. Spread the hands out, hands coming back onto the mat. And let's come over the top of our cat pose one more time. Up into downward facing dog on the toes. And as you exhale, just pressing down through the heels. And just a moment of stillness here, just so we can just check our form. So we're pressing our heels down behind the back of the toes. Knees and thighs are lifted. Lifting the lower belly. And trying to keep the shoulders open, and the weight spread evenly through our hands. We're going to walk our feet to the top of the mat. Hands come into the shin bones. Inhale halfway with your spine. Take a fold to your legs with as much knee bend as you need, as you just sort of hang heavy over your legs for a moment. A bit like a raggy doll feel. Get any last little bit of tension away from the neck, the head, the shoulders. And then as we inhale, coming back to that flat back spine, reaching the arms all the way up. Lifting out of our Tadasana and coming to Tadasana. Exhale. Let's find our first sun salutation, raising the arms, inhale, folding forward, exhale, straight or bent legs, coming halfway, hands to shins, and then folding back to the legs, exhale. Reaching the arms all the way up, let's come all the way back up again, pressing the palms together and coming into chair pose. Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift the chest to gaze, stepping back to plank pose. From plank to your knees, let's go back to child's pose first time. Get a lovely deep stretch, hips to heels, and then lengthening through the sides of your waist, sliding forward onto your belly. Moving your arms forward so your elbows align with your shoulders. And as we breathe in, we're just going to come either onto our elbows and forearms, or we're going to hover the elbows and forearms off the floor. So low, long reaching back bend that will wake up our backs, super safe back bend. If that feels okay, have a try at lifting your thighs off the floor as well, even if it's just slightly hovering, airbrushing the mat, and then trying to stretch out through those legs. And if that feels okay for you, reaching your hands back as well, so that we're in our locust pose, but we've got this feeling of lift and flight and fizz in our practice, taking us slightly out of that comfort zone of just a sphinx pose. Bringing the arms back to shoulders and then slowly coming back and down. Slide the hands back in wherever you need them to, tuck your toes under and coming into downward facing dog. So taking a look at your hands, we're going to step the right foot in between the hands, come into a low crescent moon lunge. You could stay there as a modification, or come with me and come up into crescent moon. Just notice the hips for the first time, that stretch in the quad muscle, that deep feeling in our hips. We're going to bring the right arm forward, the left arm back, like a funny little warrior two. And then reach the arms, and then go the other way, twist into your thigh. And let's take our right hand down the back of our leg, raise our left arm up, and get that lovely long stretch through the side of your waist, just stretching out our oblique muscles. Bringing your right arm to meet your left arm, crescent moon, and your hands either side of your front leg. Straight legs, so we've got our pyramid legs and our tabletop spine, and then downward facing dog from there. From downward facing dog, coming forward to your plank, let's find one single press up. Inhale, exhale, ooh, that woke me up, and downward facing dog. So from our down facing dog, gazes at your hands, step or walk to the top of your mat. Hands to your shin bones, inhale, fold to your legs, exhale. Maybe just take a moment there, bend the knees if you need to. Take a breath in, raising the arms all the way up. And back to where we began, back to our Tadasana. Let's do the same on the other side, taking a breath in, raising the arms. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Hands to your shins, halfway. Hands to your mat, folding forward. Bringing the arms all the way up. Reaching the palms, how high? Into your chair pose, exhale. Hands to the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift the chest to gaze, stepping back to your plank pose. Lower your knees and your chest this time, and as you inhale, find a low cobra, sphinx if you need it, and just roll the chest open. Downward facing dog. Exhale, back where we were in our down dog. So let's step our left foot in, give it a little help if it needs to, early class, bring the knee to the mat. And either staying there as a modification, or come into your crescent moon. So it's our left arm going forward over right back, so we're opening like a little kneeling warrior two. And then spin in to face your thigh, and then right arm forward, left arm back. Left hand to your thigh, right arm reaches, and then noticing, maybe comparing this side to your left side earlier. Bringing both palms back into your crescent moon, hands beside your front leg. Straighten your front leg so you're like a pyramid with your legs, and downward facing dog. From our downward facing dog, let's come into plank. Knees, chest coming down, hips staying high. Sliding through onto your belly, into your cobra, and back to your down facing dog. So that's quite a neat little sun salutation, involves twists and movement, and we're going to go a little faster with that. So gaze is at your hands, step or try a little jump to your hands, halfway with your spine. fold into your legs, exhale. Let's see if we can get it right and not make any errors. Inhale, raise the arms up. Then come to Tadasana. Exhale. Taking a breath in. Arms lift. Exhale, fold. Forward fold. Halfway spine. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Arms lifting all the way back above your head. Into your chair pose. Hands to mat. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Lift the chest. Step, or if you're ready to jump, lower your knees and chest. Through to your cobra, or maybe exploring upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Exhale. Right foot's coming in between the hands, bringing your knee to the ground. Coming into your crescent moon. Right arm forward, left arm back, a little funny warrior. And then sweeping the arms up. Left arm forward, right back. Right hand finds your thigh, extending up through your left arm. Bring your right arm to join your left, hands beside your toes. Find your pyramid shaped legs and your downward facing dog. Coming forward to our plank, one press up, inhale, exhale, and downward facing dog. Let's bring our left foot in between our hands and our knee to the ground. Into our crescent moon, breath in. Left arm forward, right arm back, a little warrior. And then arms lifted. Right arm forward, left back. Left hand finds your thigh. Right arm reaches. And then bringing the left arm back up. Hands beside your front foot. Find your pyramid legs. Your downward facing dog. And our plank pose. Vinyasa through knees, chest. And you choose whether you're staying with your low cobra or just exploring the up facing dog and downward facing dog. And let's pause here. So, first sun salutation in the back. We're going to explore that in a similar way, but using maybe a high lunge and maybe a little bit of strength and power as well. So, from here, gazes at your hands, walk or take a little jump, have a try, halfway with your spine, fold into your legs, taking the arms all the way above the head, and back to Tadasana, exhale. Let's move on, so we're raising the arms up. Let's come straight into that chair pose. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left thigh, let's twist. I'm just going to come a little bit into shot. Bring your right hand to the mat, your left arm to the ceiling if you want to come with me, and it's like we're spreading our wings. So I always imagine I've got a piece of string attached to my hip and my hand, and the higher I lift my hand, the more that draws that hip open. Bring the hands back to prayer, come back to your chair pose. Just see how it feels the other side. So either staying where you are, hands to heart, or left hand to mat. Right arm to ceiling, attach that string to your hip and then draw that hip up with you. Both hands back to your chest, come back to your chair pose. Let's straighten the legs and just freshen up the legs. Tiny back bend if that's there. And exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Gazes forward, let's step or try a little jump to plank. Knees, chest or chaturanga. Into up facing dog or cobra and downward facing dog. Exhale. So we're going to take our right leg off the mat, bend the knee heel to bottom, and just bring in one slow tiger curl, and let's just pause there. So if you're feeling strong, round your spine up into a cat spine and squeeze your leg up to follow where that spine is lifting, and then take the leg high, breath in. Once with your breath, so curling in, knee to nose, extend the leg high, inhale. One to land, so we're going to land that foot in between our hands and come up into a high lunge. So while we're holding, just going to explore our balance, maybe lift the right heel off the floor if you can, and then see if you can draw more length, more goddess into your practice, more length in your spine, more pride in your spine. Lower your heel down. Bring your right arm forward, your left back, but stay on your back toes. And then turn to face your front knee again. Bring your hands inside of your knee. Take your right arm up and twist in. And we're going to lift, if we can, our left hand just a little bit off the mat. So we're sort of levitating, using our balance and our anchoring of our back leg and our, maybe our core here to hold us here. I'm going to lift into that twisted lunge that we did on our knee. Bring your right hand to your leg, your left arm to the ceiling, and now try and explore that length through your left side again, even if it is a little bit wobbly like me. Your right arm joins your left. We open to a warrior two, a reverse warrior, and we vinyasa, coming around to plank. Let's find that press up. Inhale, exhale, and because we can, let's do one more. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. So a couple of breaths here. Spread the hands out. What's quite nice to do sometimes is, while we're holding down dog, and just sort of so we're observing and not ignoring, is maybe just to come up off the hands and just come up onto the tips of the fingers. I call it spider fingers. Make 10 fingerprints in your mat. And if that doesn't bother you too much, come up onto your toes and see if you can make 10 toe prints. So the only part of your down dog here on your mat is 10 toes and 10 fingers. And then as you press the heels down, just share the weight back through the hands. Take your gaze at the hands and step or jump to the top of your mat. Back is flat. Fold to your legs, exhale. And let's come all the way up. I'm going to change ends of my mat so I can still face you. Come into chair pose, and let's find that twisted chair but not held this time. So right elbow to outside of thigh. And chair pose, inhale. Left elbow to outside of thigh. And chair pose. Let's stay in that chair pose and then fold Uttanasana from there. Gazes forward, step or jump to your plank. Your vinyasa now, chaturanga or mat, upward dog or cobra or just a sphinx pose, and down facing dog. Let's lift our left leg off the mat, taking a knee bend. You can explore that, you can take that where you wish. Knee to nose, nose to knee, but we pause. And we're pausing with control, so we're rounding our spine, we're lifting our body, we're squeezing that thigh towards our belly, and then sending that leg high, breath in. Once with the breath, curling in, tiger curl. And then back to that 3-limb down dog. One to land, help it if it needs it. Come up into your high lunge and just get your confidence here with your balance. And we know that we wobble around, and that absolutely doesn't matter. Just having the courage to try, and sort of that feeling that, yeah, I managed that today. I nailed that today. So maybe just try that heel raise. Worst thing that can happen is you have to put your heel back on the floor and you wobble around a bit. And then heel to mat. Left arm forward, right back, still on our back toes. And then turn in, spin in to face the knee. Right arm forward, left arm back. Find the back of your leg. Reach up through with your right arm. And then find that lovely feeling in your oblique muscles as you draw your left arm back. Both hands coming on the inside of your knee. You're going to take your left arm up and twist in. And then just hover your fingers off the mat a little bit. And I'm just going to repeat something we've just done, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes it's quite nice to have a bit of a bonus in your practice. So from that sort of feeling of levitated, let's come back to that twisted lunge. Feeling of deja vu here, yes? Left hand finds the back of your leg. Right arm reaches. Both hands finding each other above your head. And warrior two. You like that twice. Reverse your warrior. Windmill your arms. Step back to your plank. Your vinyasa now. Chaturanga or knees. Inhale, up facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. So, feeling like we've had a little bit of an extra bonus there with our twisted lunge. We're going to take that a little bit faster through practice until we get to that warrior two. So gazes at your hands, step or jump, top of your mat, halfway with your back, fold to your legs. Maybe our legs are straight for the first time, our knees, thighs lifted, our belly in, sweeping the arms up, breath in, coming into your chair pose. Exhale, twisting, you choose this time, opposite elbow to knee. Chair pose, inhale. Other way, exhale. Chair pose, inhale. Folding forward, Uttanasana. Gaze is forward, step or jump, plank. Knees are halfway. Into up facing dog or cobra. Into downward facing dog. Right leg leaves mat. One tiger curl, breathing out. Breathing in. One to land. Come up into your high lunge, inhale. Right arm forward, left arm back. And then lifting to face your knee. Bringing your arms inside of your knee. Right arm lifts. Coming up into your twisted lunge. Taking your hand down to the back of your leg, reaching your left arm. And bringing your right to join your left. Warrior two. So just checking form in warrior. Sure your knee feels sturdy over the top of your heel. Your back leg feels strong. Spine is lifted. Your warrior is proud. Let's reaching back with our left arm. Reaching all the way back into that reverse warrior. If you want to find the back bends now. And then back to your warrior two. Then straighten our right leg. Take a glide to our toes. And find our triangle pose. I love saying that, it rhymes. So angular pose. I'm going to try and soften the feeling in the triangle angles. Soften the shoulders. Feel adjustment. I'm going to offer you some arms. So you're going to wrap your left arm behind your back. And as you bind it, use it like a tool of alignment to just open up into. If you'd like to, bring your right arm forwards. And if you can, bring your left arm forward. But be controlling here. Squeeze your arms towards you. Don't let that underneath arm feel like it's being dragged down. And then as you come up, turn your feet to the two corners of the mat. So we're going to take our arms all the way above the head, link our hands together and drop down into our goddess. So the nice thing about this goddess sequence is this one is just a sort of a one time only each side. So there's no breath led with this. So we want to get a little bit of depth into our legs gradually. Hands coming behind the back of the head, elbows wide, chest open. We're going to dip our right elbow towards our thigh and back to centre. And then our left to our thigh and back to centre. Once more to the right and centre. Once more to the left and centre. Now we're going to bring our right arm inside of our thigh. Maybe use it just to hold that hip open. Take our left arm up. We're still in our goddess legs. But we're going to find a bit of opposition as if someone is trying to pull your left arm up. And sometimes someone is trying to pull your right arm down until you feel that point of maximum here in that stretch. And then just bring both hands all the way back above the head. Straighten the legs, turn the feet in. And then if your back doesn't mind it, come forward and wide. Keep the arms long and extended. Powerful movement. It's like an extension to our tabletop. So we can have more guests around for dinner. And then bring both hands down and take a breath in. Right hand stays on the mat, so we take our left arm up if you want to, like we did in that twisted lunge. Have a try it just hovering your fingertips off the mat. So that twist is really pure into your waist. And then both hands back to the mat. Try the same the other side. So right arm lifts, left hand can be on the mat, or try just hovering off the mat. Notice how much more powerful that feels. And then both hands back to the mat. So we're going to spread our wings out wide this time. Come all the way back up. Turn your right foot out. Come into your warrior two. Okay, just finding that sort of strength in that front leg and that support in your back leg and that pride in your warrior spine. Reverse your warrior. Take a windmill through your arms and step back to plank pose. Let's find a vinyasa here, your vinyasa, so you choose. Into cobra, up facing dog. You could even just hang around in plank and go back to downward facing dog. Exhale. Step back here if you need a little move around, feels good. I'm just going to change ends of my mats again while you're moving around in your down facing dog. And then we can do it all again on our left side. Breath led up to that warrior two. See if I can get it right this time. Left leg leaves the mat. Bend the knee, heel to bottom. One tiger curl. Breathing out. And breathing in. One to land. High lunge. Come up into your high lunge. Really strong in that back leg. Right arm forward, left arm back. And then spin to face your front knee. Hands to the inside of your knee. Left arm lifts. And we come up into that twisted lunge. Exhale, left arm finds your leg, right arm reaches, left arm joins your right arm. Let's come into our warrior two. So you're going to take a reverse of that warrior. You take that back bend a little more if you want to. Imagine you're sliding your hand from your thigh to your knee. But imagine you could slide your hand all the way down to your calf. And then back to your warrior two. Exhale, straighten your left leg. You might just need to wiggle your back foot in a little bit. Slide to your toes. Find your triangle pose. And then we just observe and soften. Always bend this left knee. Always just sort of let this right arm come behind your back if you want to. You can go bigger if you want. You could always reach it over your side of your head. But we're going to wrap it behind our back. Use it to find a way to roll into it. And I say to my class, imagine you've got a little headlight on the tip of your shoulder here. Shine your headlight to the ceiling. So my offer is to lift your left arm. And if that feels achievable, to extend your right arm too. But you're in control of these arms. You're still lengthening and feeling you've got control and lift. Bring both arms back. Turn both feet out. Get your arms high. Link your fingers as you drop into your goddess. Let's see if we can get a little bit deeper. We feel like we're pulling all the knots out of our back muscles. Hands behind the back of the head. Let's go left elbow first this time. Left elbow to thigh. And back to centre. Right elbow to thigh. In my Pilates class, I compare this to tipping tea out of the teapot. So we're tipping the tea out of the teapot left side. And centre. And to the other side. And centre. We took our left arm inside of our thigh. Our right arm reaches. We're feeling the force, the opposition of being sinking into our hips. We're trying to stay lifted through this right arm. And then hands back behind the head. Let's tip to the right. Right arm inside of the thigh. Left arm to the ceiling. Maybe the sky, maybe you're in your garden. If you can, getting down into those goddess legs. And then both arms are reaching up. Where's that goddess, that last goddess hold? Straightening both legs. Power move as you reach forward with those arms. Feeling like there's two magnets attached to your inside of your arms and your ears, holding them there. And then both hands to the mat. Let's move with our breath this time. Right hand stays, left arm lifts as we twist. Left hand down, right arm lifts as we twist. Let's do one more each side. Breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. So both hands back on the mat, arms wide, spread your wings, all the way up, turn your left foot out, come into your warrior two. So we're going to take a vinyasa from there, reverse the warrior. Wiggle the arms, step back to plank. Let's take that right back down onto our belly again, like we did right at the beginning. And then either with your arms in Sphinx on the mat, or lift the chest, hover our chest off the mat, our arms maybe as well. If you can, like we did earlier, lift the legs. And if you can, like we did earlier, reach the arms back. But we have some heat in our practice now. So we're going to take a Superman approach to our locus and reach the arms forward. And then as you breathe in, reach the arms back. Try that again, so arms reaching forwards, and then as if you're swimming, reaching the arms back. Bring the arms back to shoulder level, lower yourself back to the mat. Find your hands a bit closer in, and step back to your down facing dog. Exhale. So we're sort of approaching sort of the tail of the sequence. We're going to come onto into our plank pose and drop just a right knee to the mat. Just tuck that knee underneath your hip. Lift your left leg, and you can either stay with both hands on the floor or extend your right arm forward. We're just going to find that moment again of trying to find a little bit of stillness, lots of lift, lots of length, and that stillness will come from just calming the breath and just sort of sorting out the alignment of these opposite limbs, pulling away from our centre, and then bring that back into hands and knees position. Tuck your toes under and find downward facing dog. Then we take our feet in just a tiny bit closer, so they're a little bit closer in, and maybe you can touch the mat with both heels. We're going to bring our left hand across to our right ankle and just sort of feel like you're just going to thread yourself through the space between that right arm and your legs. And you could even have a little look up underneath your armpit, or if you've got a mirror or a screen there, it will probably looks a little bit strange. And then come back to your down facing dog. Come to your plank. This time we're going to bring our left knee down underneath our hip, lift our right leg up, and if you can, just take your left arm away. So it's pulling these heavy limbs away from our centre that is challenging, but strengthening for our core. It's controlling this feeling of lift and finding this stillness which comes from alignment. And then just bring in your hand and your knee in, tuck your toes under, and let's find our down facing dog. We're going to take our right hand across to our left ankle. We might just need to step your feet in a little bit closer, that's fine. And you can just stay in a down dog if it doesn't suit you. And it's almost like you're trying to thread yourself through the needle here, but keeping your legs anchored and keeping that weight pushing away from that hand on the mat. Coming back to your down facing dog. So let's sting in the tail of this one. We're going to come forward into another plank. Last heavy part of the practice. You can put your knees down first if you need to, or if you're feeling warm and strong, drop down onto your elbows and come into the forearm plank. And we're just going to link our hands together with our thumbs on top. So from our plank, and you can do this on your knees, of course you can. But if you can, we're just going to walk your feet in like a funny little elbows down facing dog. And the closer your feet come to your elbows, the harder you're going to work for yourself. And just let your head sort of hanging between your arms and shoulder frame like a swing. Scoop your lower belly in. Just have your legs aligned. And then just lifting your gaze in front of your hands. Going to find just a couple of dolphin dips. Just to ignite that fizz in our practice, those bubbles. So let's come forward as we breathe in, like you're going to dip your nose in the water and pull back as you breathe out. If you've got 2 more of those with me, breathing into our dolphin dip and breathing out. 1 more if you can, breathing in and breathing out. Whatever way feels right for you, come back to your down facing dog. I'm going to take 1 last vinyasa, and that will bring us to our mats. So coming forward to your plank pose for the last time. Knees or chaturanga. Upward facing dog or take a cobra. And downward facing dog. Exhale, and that's your goddess. Empowered your goddess, ignited your goddess. We're going to walk our feet into our hands and just come to a seated at the top of your mat. How are we doing? So just a couple of little stretches just to bring a little bit of flexibility and calm at the end of the practice. We'll come on to our backs after that, and then you're off for the rest of your day. So we're going to bring your right leg out. We're just going to leave your left foot on the inside of your thigh. You can touch it round to your calf. You can even bring it up into a half lotus if you wish to. Opposite hand, left hand, just reach it to the outside of your calf, ankle or heel. Right arm, wrap it behind your back, wherever you can wrap it to. And it's like about a quarter of a twist as you turn in towards that thigh. And just easy fold over that front leg. So it's just like a gentle twist into this forward fold. And I always think about sort of just listening to my shin with my ear. See what my shin is saying. But quite often it doesn't say much. All that speech comes out of my mouth. Let's bring that right arm around, lose the twist, and just find just a breath or so, or a few, here in this forward fold. Where we should be here with this forward fold is in a place where we can accept. We shouldn't be in a forced position where we feel we need to hurry to get out. We should be in a place where we can relax muscles that we're not using, our upper body, our neck, our shoulders, our arms, our wrists. And somewhere where we feel we can move along into, not somewhere where we feel we're actually at that maximum at this moment. Nice and calm with the breath again. And somewhere we feel we've actually earned this pose, this peace, this quiet for a moment or so. And then just lifting the chest away from that leg. Bringing the hands all the way back for support and slowly walking away from there. Just going to bring this leg in. It can stay inside or it can cross over. Opposite arm wraps the knee, or you can hook it. And let's just find a nice easy twist, simple twist. In the ideal textbook situation, both sit bones will be on the mat. But whatever works for you, whatever feels nice. I'm going to feel the twist is almost wringing out, middle out like a sponge. That we're breathing into the twist, not using our force or our power. And then exhale from there to bring the left leg out. Bring the right foot in, thigh calf, half lotus. Sit a little forward if that helps you. Be comfortable in your seat. Bring your right hand to your calf, ankle, or even the side of your knee. Your left arm binds behind your back, wherever it will go. And then it's just a little twist, a little bit like our twisted lunge right at the beginning of the practice. Just drawing our body forward along our leg. Using encouragement and patience and acceptance rather than force energy. Bringing your left arm around as well. So we lose a twist, and then we just find that point where we think, oh my goodness, I've earned this. This feels amazing. This is setting me up for the rest of my day. So no neck tension, no shoulder tension, no grabbing that leg and forcing. Just beautiful breath-led flexibility. And then one more breath here. I'm going to walk away from that leg. Come all the way back to seat with your right leg over the top, or just stay inside. Left arm can wrap or cross over. And then we all know twists. We love our twists. The way the body sort of squeezes like a sponge. Almost like it pushes that breath higher and more active into your heart and lungs. And then slowly away from there. Bring both legs out in front. We're going to take our hands behind us. We're going to find just a modified reverse boat pose if you want to. So you can leave your hips, your bottom on the ground. If you've got a little last little bit of energy, we're going to lift our hips. If you're not sure, you keep your chin tucked in. If you feel amazing and it feels wonderful, you can let your head drop back. Think of your hips lifting your chest, your hips lifting your heart. Everything from the back of your body, pushing the top of your body up. And slowly coming back to your mat. Bring your feet to the top of your mat. Roll yourself onto your backs. And hug your knees to your chest. Catch hold of the top of the knees or the shins. We could just take a little circle out of our legs. Quite nice to do that. And then as the legs come back together, we're going to cross your right leg over your left. And just give your knees a big squeeze in. And if you want a little bit for your hips, you can hold your heels and pull your heels towards your hips. And if you want a bit more for your hips, you can push your legs up so your legs look like that victory V or cow's horns. Flex your feet and then just have a play with the position and the power in that leg position, and you'll find that in the hips for yourself. And you can have a little rock side to side, and you can modify that however. And it doesn't have to look perfect. We know that. It has to feel good. Our hips are so different. They can be stubborn one day and they can be open another day. And then just let your heels go. Take your arms out to the side and just take your legs over to the twisting side, that feel good side. And you can turn your head away from your knees and just enjoy that little bit of peace at the end of the practice there. So today outside it's a really lovely day. The weather is beautiful. It's a little bit cool. It's my daughter's birthday today. And I'm not going to get to see her, but I will FaceTime her and her 3 little boys. So she's my oldest. I'm not going to tell you how old she is because it would make me sound really old. And then draw the legs back into centre. And hug your knees into your chest. Give your legs a big circle. And then let's cross our left over our right. Find our tops of our feet and squeeze our heels to our bum. Or catch our heels and lift our legs up so we look like that V, that victory V, or that cow's horns. Another name, flex your feet. That does help keep your knees happy. And that will also ignite those hips as well. And then have a little play with the pressure and the shape and the movement and the rock side to side. Whatever feels good. I nearly rocked so much energy there, I nearly went crashing into my door. That'll be good. And then let the knees, feet go. Arms away out to the side, legs coming over to that side that they drag you over to. Turn your head away. Roll your shoulders down. I do hope you've enjoyed the class. Igniting that warrior. Sorry about your bonus twist, but look at that as a positive. You had more. Just checking that my videoing hadn't turned itself off. and then coming back in to hug both knees. And if you have got the time, it would be so nice if you would spine savasana. Just stretch the legs out, relax your body to where it feels more comfortable, and be whatever position you're lying in that feels comfortable to you. Even if it's just giving yourself 5 breaths on your mat before you rush off for the rest of your day, or your evening if it's evening time. And yes, we'll just keep going with this situation for however long, until we can all get back together again. I've had some really good feedback about the Magic 5 class, the cardio yoga that I put up on YouTube a few days ago. So I'm in the planning of a nice fire flow that's again going to keep our heart and lungs really active and healthy. So I will let you know, and I'll probably do that as a live class soon as well. So for those of you still in Savasana, just enjoy that time, enjoy that moment, have the most wonderful day. And just going to finish the class with you just by rolling the shoulders back and down if you're with me, taking a breath in, lifting the arms, bring the hands all the way back down to the heart, and just namaste, and just wishing you a most wonderful day. And I'll see you soon. Take care.